Thank you very much. I have to go to present my article called System Analysis Model for Micro and Small Businesses. So, abstract. The objective of the research was to propose a friendly, gradual, and cheap computer system to the micro and small enterprise MIPES that allows them to manage the companies according to the characteristics, their own needs, and it is incremental in its options according to the growth of the same within the market of goods and service, since the MIPES constitute 99.1% of the enterprise activity of Peru. Let me comment. The type of research was conducted under the quantitative approach, experimental design, quasi-experimental with a deductive hypothetical method, an instrument validated by expert judgment, was used with a reliable according to Cambridge Alpha 0.900, highly reliable. It's conducted that it should be done by industrial sectors, since according to the items can be understood that may have the same need. Introduction. The National Institute of Statistics and Informatics, INAI 2027, indicate that its compendium basic structure, the business density, is made up of micro enterprise in 94.8% participation and a small enterprise with 4.3% participation respectively, which determines 99.1% of the business structure of Peru, being the evolution of the MIPES, which is increasing with respect to commercial enterprise according to the business part. Micro enterprise have 95.8% and a small enterprise have 3.7% participation respectively. So, likewise, the organization formed as a publicly limited companies according to the business field, micro enterprise constitute 78.0% and a small enterprise 17.6% similarly. The companies formed as a public limited companies according to the business part constitute micro enterprise with 78.9%, while small enterprise with 17.4% go. On the other hand, the manufacturing companies according to the business part constitute micro enterprise with 93.8% and a small enterprise with 70.2%. On the other hand, manufacturing companies according to the business segment are made up of micro enterprise with 93.8% and a small enterprise with 5.2% companies. Registered as natural person according to the business segment have 99.1% concentrating in micro enterprises. With regard to company constituted according to the legal organization, natural person with 75% limited company with 11.7% and individual organization with limited liable with 7.2% respectively. So, an in-depth analysis of the micro enterprise show that those constitute as economic companies according to their activity are in first place by vehicle repair services with 23.3%, in second place professional service with 22.3%, and third place construction service with 10.9% similarly. Those constitute as a public limited companies are concentrated in a province of Lima with 65 economic vehicle repair service with 23.9%. In relation to service, according to their economic activity, professional service with 23.9%, food and beverage service with 19.4%, and transport and storage service with 12.1%. The micro companies of service according to their legal organization are divided into service of natural person with 72% and corporation with 12%. Similarly, manufacturing companies according to their economic activities include textiles and leather with 31.3%, wood and furniture with 16.1%, and manufacturers of metal products with 15.5%. Manufacturing companies, according to their legal organization, are represented by the service of natural person with 75.7%, public limited companies with 12.2%, and individual companies with limited liable with 9.0%. Microenterprise registered as natural person according to their economic activity include vehicle repair service with 71.5%, food and beverage service with 9.7%, and professional service with 7.7%. The microenterprise registered as a natural person according to the economic activity are represented by vehicle repair service with 51.5%, food and beverage service with 9.7%, and professional service with 7.9%. And finally, the microenterprise registered as a natural person according to the region are represented by the province of Lima with 39.7%, Arequipa with 5.7%, and Piura with 4.8% respectively. Introduction. Knowing that the GIP is one of the most important country indicators, which calculates the productivity of a state in a period of time, always on an annual basis, the state monitors this indicator through the National Institute of Statistics and Informatics, PELAIS 2015, stated that the management of a company in a world government by globalization, where competition is first requires efficient systems that relate the customers and whose management costs are more than assumable. So, in this aspect, enterprise resource planning system, ERP, play a relevant role since they provide a company with integrated and flexible management of resources. According to Gamarra and Cornejo, 2018, investigated that the open source ERP implementation model for SMI in the automotive sector. Currently, the success that can be achieved in the business sector depends on how assertive the decisions that are taken and what can be achieved with each of them. Above all, it's so that decision-making based on information from previously centralized and processed data, so that the analysis of does not represent problem or generate delays. The automotive sector, like all other business sectors, does not escape from the need to make decisions in order to achieve the objectives set in an effective and efficient way. For this purpose, there is a wide variety of technological tools to achieve for the objective. Materials and methods. The type of research is experimental, quasi-experimental because it proposes two groups, one called control and the other called experimental. In terms of its process, it's deductive, sequential, evidential, and analysis objective reliable. It is also quantitative in approach within a positivist research paradigm with a deductive hypothetical method. In the quasi-experimental design, a pre-test and a post-test were used to propose the implementation of the system analysis model for the ERP WINAI for the foundry company Aleaciones Técnicas Especiales SAC. The evaluation to the same company, the experimental and control groups were conformed, represented by the personnel of the company. The population was represented by all the staff of the foundry company, Aleaciones Técnicas Especiales SAC. When the company works at 100% of its instantly capacity, 56 employees being census population. In the instrument to be used was the easier questionnaire. What is easier questionnaire? Easier questionnaire consists of 4 evaluation factors. The first one being flexibility, which measures whether the IT system had the capacity to change or adapt so that they can be implemented in any type of company and business environment. The second evaluation factor is applicability, which proposes a computer system based on our ERP, but at the same time improve that can be applied to any type of processing or service company without a need to make change in its structure. The third part of evaluation is related to replicability, which suggests to be applied to several companies of the same industry and organizationally different and even different levels. And the last evaluation factor is cost effectiveness, which should not only mean that the software is cheap to install and use, but also that it's allowed the company to be profitable. So we have results. The company Aleaciones Técnicas Especiales, like many enterprises, opted for a standard ERP known as Business One, which cost $5,100, which financing in 6 years with professional licensing for managers at $2,017 and licenses for those in charge of finances, accounted, the CRM, logistics, and others. So we have our discussion, but I comment about results. The company that implemented the system oriented the work process of the company to the option of the models already pre-established by them, so it was not adapted to the requirements of the company, and the ERP was not used to 100%. Later, the opinion of the implemented ERP Wiñay was presented, which was more effective according to the requirements of the company. ERP Wiñay is a computer system that provides a different proposal with respect to traditional ERP, as it has basic, intermediate, and advanced tasks that can be interrelated according to the needs of SEs and go iterating tasks to the models according to the growth or requirements of a micro and medium enterprise. This allows them to have a system and remain as despite the growth for market event in order to achieve the better positioning of MECs in the market. A system analysis model should be implemented to obtain an ERP winner for micro and small enterprise in the Department of Lima. It is concluded that it should be done by industrial sectors, since according to the items can be understood that they might have the same needs. Likewise, as a company, it will allow understanding the options and data levels, making them less costly since they are only replicated. It is proposed that its analysis be carried out in the Department of Lima, as it concentrates more than 99% of the micro presses. The result coincides with what is stated in the law for the promotion and formalization of micro and small enterprise, better known as LIE MIPS. On the other hand, Espinosa, 2016, who investigated the implementation of a SAP system in budget process management in a Peruvian organization, stated that Peruvian Welfare Association must be set up to face an inexorably serious and globalized world. Hence, It's vital that they improve their internal cycles to meet the goals of generating STEAMs, such as expanding the nature of administration to the client, less aging or expensing, less ideal opportunity to obtain data on the current business situation. So we have our reference, and